Good evening. Thank you all for coming out. I'm Cheryl Aide. I've been on the council, the inaugural council, for the last 2 years. And for those of you who attend the meetings, you know what I'm like. For those of you who don't, I can tell you I spent 6 years educating myself on incorporation and attendant issues prior to incorporation. And I bring that same core value with me to the city council meetings. I'm well prepared. I read the agendas. If I have questions or comments, I'm right in there to staff, getting information so that when we do discuss issues before the public, we can have a good discussion. It doesn't always turn out that way. Sometimes people just want to vote, don't want to discuss it as much, but I think it behooves the public if we have good, intelligent, critical thinking discussions. I won't vote on something on the agenda if there's inadequate information. I think some of you have seen that. If there's not enough detail, I'm not going to vote. Pardon?
Time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ben Benoit. I've been in the city for 7 years now. I moved my family out here from the Coachella Valley. And I found a place that I really am happy to call home. I've recently got involved in a lot of different avenues, including joined the Planning Commission recently. I took that opportunity because I wanted to hit the ground running on a city council position. I think in this city there's a lot of things a lot of people want. Everyone has different ideas on the things we need, from street lights to streets to the streets at all, and street cleaning. Lots of different issues. Everyone seems to have an issue. And the core principle that all those issues have that we don't have is a way to pay for a lot of that. And I would hope that I can get out there and encourage development in the areas that we need it, in commercial development, so we can grow our tax base, get that tax base here, and keep promoting Wildemar and bring our taxes home to Wildemar.
Okay, this is the first question, and it'll be for candidate Lloyd. We'll start it off. You'll have 2 minutes. Why should we vote for you? First question.
Why should you vote for me? It's a very good question. I am asking for your vote. I am willing to do the hard work that it's going to take to put Wildemar on the map. It's going to take a lot of work working with the community, developing committees that involve each and every one who has a voice, who wants to come out and participate in city functions in the way our general plan is developed. We need to open up those kind of open discussions with you. I'm so glad you are here tonight. Like I said before, I have gone to most of the city council meetings. I've been in staff meetings with Gary Norquist, our finance director. I can hit the ground running. I have a good working knowledge, and I have proven myself through my past experience with the community. I have developed relationships, like I said, with those who have come before and put Wildemar on the map. And I believe I will be your voice. I believe that I can listen. I can come up with answers and bring them to the table and work, and I can work with everybody. So I ask for your vote.
Okay, that's a great question. Why should you vote for me? The number one reason that came to my mind is I care. I truly care about this community. I care about what goes on in our community. I care about each and every one of you. Some of you I've had the opportunity to meet with. I try to be available as much as possible to hear your concerns. I want to see this city succeed. I don't want to see us go down and go under. We were at the League of Cities meetings 2 weeks ago, and a council member from another city said, "Oh, I heard you weren't going to stay a city." And I said, "No, for my dead body." We are going to stay a city, and we are going to be strong, and we are moving in the right direction. Our budget is in line. It's cut extremely from what it was thought it was going to be when we incorporated, but we're still within budget. We're still providing good police service, good fire service. We're working on our dirt roads. They're going to be tough, but we do have a plan in place to get some of those roads paved, as long as the community wants them paved, because it's going to be up to the individual people that live on that road road, whether it gets paved or not. I love to see the community coming together, the fun we have at the park. We've got to keep the parks open, and I will fight to the end for that.
Oh, why would I vote for me? Well, that's an interesting concept. Number one, I'm a business owner, and I have been running a company for quite some years, well, 29 years now in the area. And there's a lot to running a business. There's a lot to payrolling. There's a lot of going out and getting those new clients to help promote the company, to get the benefits for the people that work for us. That's a lot of work, and I know how to do that kind of work. I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff that's gone on in the city. It's been a really good transition from county to city. I haven't seen any huge issues. There's a couple few here that have caught my eye and my attention. I have been paying attention along the way. I've been watching, I've been here so long that I've watched Temecula and I've watched Murrieta, and I've seen some of the big flaws that they've done and some mess ups they've had along the way. They're big cities now and they have a lot of people, but it's not always so nice and easy access down there. And I think that's going to be one of our issues, is how to get in and out to make it livable for the people that live here. Also, we want to make it family oriented. We want to keep our families here. We want to keep the open spaces as much as we can. And hopefully with new housing or something like that, we can keep it to where the houses can have horses or whatever. Something to rural effect. We still want that aspect because that's what's going to make quality of life is all it is for me. It really comes down to that. Otherwise, I would have never even adventured into this type of thing, but I can see that I need to. I want to be a part of that, and I've watched long enough, and I think it's time to step up to the board.
Why vote for me? I think that Wildemar, though there has been some really good startup, there's also been some flaws in the startup. And I think that we are facing some very serious financial challenges. I think almost everybody agrees with that. And I think that you need someone with a good business background. When I worked for Kaiser Permanente, I managed a budget that is over 4 times what Wildemar's is. And I think you need that kind of experience that a business person would bring. I also think that we need to bring people together. I see certain factions in the city. We have to stop arguing with each other. We have to come together and pull together if we're going to keep our parks open and if we're going to make proper decisions about what kind of businesses and commercial things to bring to the city to enhance our revenue streams. And I look forward to having your vote.
I have an unequaled reservoir of pre-cityhood knowledge. I served on land development review and the ad hoc committee for 5 years. We reviewed all applications that went to the county. I spoke at the planning commission. I spoke at the board of supervisors, both in favor and against certain projects. I have an understanding of the land use issues in Wildemar, and I've said this all along through the council meetings. If we make a mistake on some of these projects, it could be fatal to us. A large budget managing that's great, but we have a very tiny budget, and it's shrinking. And we have very few dollars after they're allocated to public safety to do the rest of what we have to do. And we are going to face some challenges, and we are going to have to find ways to make the city continue to run and provide the services it needs to provide. I'm on the finance subcommittee, I'm on economic development subcommittee, I'm on the cemetery subcommittee, I'm on the trails subcommittee. So I have kind of a unique view because all this comes together under, well, not cemetery so much, trails, but it all comes together under these committees. And I serve on regional commissions as well, so I have that perspective. I would just like to continue working for you as a public servant.
Why you should vote for me? I'm here for the long haul. Some people have said maybe I'm moving on to something else before I get started, and that's not the case. I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and I want to see her get through high school here. This high school, probably. live out of the street on Bundy Canyon. It is a dirt road, and we do a lot of that in the city. And again, it comes back to how do we pay for improvements. And the only way I see going forward to do that is to bring commercial business to our city so we can bring our tax dollars home. And I want to work for that on a regional level to make sure that if someone's thinking about building something, if they're thinking about building on the 15 corridor, like make sure that they know we've got spots where they can be here. And that will give us the ability to buy our big items here in Wildemar. And if you don't do that in Wildemar, we won't have the tax base and won't have the ability to go forward with a lot of these ideas that we all have. From trails to parks to everything else. Without that ability to do that here, we're going to just miss out on those dollars. So I'm going to make sure I'm working on a regional level to bring that home and bring that to Wildemar. I've also been in business myself for 11 years, and I've been doing computer business for a long time, and grew up in that industry, and I've seen what the economy has done to a lot of my customers and how we've lost a lot of that in this area and in other areas. And we're going to have to work really hard to continue building what we have right now and to make sure we don't go any further down the way.